Dear Canadians, thank you for joining me today. My name is Shan Qureshi. The reason why I'm doing this video is to address some important issues. But before I do that, I would like to introduce myself. I have B Honors in Political Science from York University. Um, Prior to assisting the Ontario Conservative Party and being a supporter of the Conservative Party of Canada, I have worked and been managing the constituency here in Ontario under Dalton McGuinty's government back in the day. That being said, I'm a conservative and I support, with the full disclosure I want to make here, Erino'toole's leadership bid for the Prime Minister of Canada, and I fully support him and I will be campaigning for him as well. Without leaving an important aspect in Canadian diaspora over here, I would like to thank the Canadian Armed Forces for their hard work and their countless efforts in keeping Canada safe. I would also like to thank frontline healthcare workers, janitors, shopkeepers, cashiers, bankers, all the frontline workers for their tremendous work during these very tough crises and tough times that we are having, not just here in Canada but all over the globe. Thank you so much for being there for us and doing what you do. It takes a lot of courage to get out of your house and take a daily risk, and knowing that there's a potential life and death situation that could occur. That being said, I would also want to raise a very important issue to the Canadian government and to the Conservative Party, the NDP Party, regarding the Canadian Armed Forces and particularly the Canadian Air Force. I'm asking everyone to be non-partisan on this issue and address Canada's air superiority and to make Canada's Air Force one of the strongest air forces available. This is undoubtedly, it could be a very cost hectic issue, but I believe we can address it with a very responsible way of having a bang for the buck sort of situation by having advanced technologies that can address the 21st century landmark. We are a country that is the second largest country by landmass, and we need to be there when the time arises to protect and safeguard our environment. We have an old fleet of F-18s. We could modernize them in many ways, but they still are fighter jets from the 80s. We need an air force that is able and capable to address current scenario threats and can take us into the year 2050 and beyond. That being said, I wanted to address a very important issue, the reason why I'm doing this interview here today and addressing the people of Canada. I wanted to talk about a senator by the name of Senator Salma Atullahjan. Senator Salma Atullahjan has been trying to get into the Interparliamentary Union and has made some very ludicrous comments and very unfortunate comments. I'm a conservative myself, so I'm addressing this because she made the comment non-partisan. So you have enjoyed and being a senator for a very long time. You have got exceptional privileges and benefits. And Prime Minister Stephen Harper, one of the amazing prime ministers that this country has steered this country one of the most economically troubling times that we have faced, appointed you back in the day, and you used the word recently in a Global Mail article, "Old Boys Club," when referring to Justin Trudeau and the Foreign Affairs Minister. I find it very ridiculous and very awful that you have to make these comments, because when you do get appointed and you do get what you want, it's not an old boys club, and when you don't get your way, you start talking about you're a racialized woman and you have issues that is stopping you from succeeding. This is very unfortunate, that you have the blessings. Unfortunately, I believe a lot of Canadians, if they even had 10% of what you had, they would not make these statements or comments. But having high office like the Senate, and I believe you don't even qualify for that because you lost, the election, and then you got appointed by Stephen Harper. And I like Stephen Harper a lot, don't get me wrong by any standards of that. But you see, there's a trend going on in Canada. You lose elections and then they pick you up from that riding, they drop you in another riding in the hopes that you would win in that election. And guess what? They lose in that riding as well. We are a country with 35 plus million people. We have no shortage of talented and bright individuals to take this country into a next environment of ideas, views, opinions, and solutions for the Canadian people. We have numerous talent from all over the world, okay? And we can use them, we can harness them to better our environment. And it's very unfortunate that you have used these comments and have tried to use some liberal MP and MPPs to back you up, and then this is very unfortunate. As so you use the word nonpartisan, I'm being nonpartisan too, and I'll say, as a conservative, like I said, I'm going to be campaigning for erino'toole, and I support the Conservative Party. I support David McGuinty's bid also for the Interparliamentary Union. I mean, we need someone who has experience, who can deliver, who can represent, who can communicate. It's important to communicate, and give views and opinions and project Canada's image in the international community, which you unfortunately will not be able to do. You badmouth, the environment over here, and then you're going to go outside and represent Canada. I find it very, very odd and very unfortunate. I am using the word unfortunate here numerous times. It's redundant, but I have to say this, and this is just not the right way. And we need an international presence. We need international strength. The environment in the international community is very different right now. And we have a COVID crisis, and people are interested in what they're going to get out of a position, right? I find it very weird. I'm requesting Prime Minister Harper and a few other Conservative MP and MPPs and premiers alike also to please take your support off of this individual, and please do not support this individual anymore. We can move forward in a new era with new individuals. I also strongly believe that the Senate of Canada has to be re-evaluated on how it is being regulated. I believe that a Senate that is more intertwined on the idea that we can elect and then also remove individuals if we don't see them fit for various reasons. Okay, some of them I can't even describe. There are many individuals like that. But so we need to move forward in the right direction. And I'm sorry that you use this, but you're getting a good salary. You're getting 157,000 plus, and all of a sudden you're the one who's been racially sidelined. You're the one who's been racially, pushed aside. I'm myself a son of a father who's brown and a mother who's white, and there's many successes I've had, and there's many failures I've had. But I don't cry wolf, and many other people don't cry wolf when they don't get their way. And this has to stop, and it's very, very sad. You called it the old boys club. I mean, come on, you got appointed by Stephen Harper. He was a man, so you were okay with that. But Justin Trudeau and the foreign affairs minister won't attend your call, so all of a sudden it's an old boys club. And don't get me wrong, I have many things and many files I disagree with Justin Trudeau on. There are files that he's made a complete mess of, and there's issues that he's been good at. So we have to admit this as Canadians, whether we like it or we don't. But I strongly advise Justin Trudeau and erino'toole and other individuals to not to point someone who is unable to deliver, who's unable to project, who's unable to give the Canadian view and protect actually human rights, not just in words but in action. I believe we need someone like that. And I'm not going to say much more because I don't want to take this into a framework that is not becoming of the conversation. A few countries like Britain and New Zealand even have also encouraged to put her name. I'm requesting those governments to not please support this individual. And I hope that we, also some people, they've been blackballing other individuals, and it's very unfortunate. The other thing is, people are, they're like, she's saying that she's been racialized and put aside. Justin Trudeau, whether you like him or you don't like him, he has even given a green light to Conservative family members to continue on in public service under his government. And those individuals, when they got elected, it's very funny, they didn't even put their spouse's name on the literature during election time, so that if they would be running, if people would ask them this question, they would say, well, he gave me or didn't give me. So they wanted to avoid these questions by saying, well, I'm getting a job with the Conservatives, my husband is working under the Liberals, vice versa, or wife, So there are instances like this that Conservatives or Liberals support one another. So I find it very, very sad, that you got a privileged environment and a setup that is productive to you, but when it doesn't work for you, you make these comments. So I support David McGinty. Is a if he puts his name forward, I support him on that. If he doesn't, that's a different story. But I still do believe there are many other conservative individuals, many other liberal individuals who can serve this job better at the international interparliamentary union, inter supranational organization. So we have to be very much aware of these problems. Once again, I'm going to just cut this conversation here because I know you all are busy and you also have your things to do. We are also already moving into the colder environment and a colder climate. So I'm requesting all of you to please be cautious, take care of yourselves, take care of your families. Please continue to practice social distancing rules and guidelines. I mean, if we can help one another, it will take a lot of pressure off from professional healthcare workers and the system. So if we can do that, I believe we can solve many problems that we have. And please, thank you very much. Have a good evening. Thank you.